See the trichome starting to get red hairs, but what you're really looking for is if you put it to the light, you can see the crystal just shining through. That means you got a high CBD content, which is what we want. These are really excellent plants.
Our farm is situated here in Powell Butte, Oregon, right underneath the Three Sisters. Once plants are in the ground, we do get a bit of a breathing room. We start focusing on our irrigation management, really dialing in our systems. A lot of our sustainability does come from that drip tape. It really allows us to properly manage our water usage based on the fact that we were putting that water right at the root zone for the plants. Then the focus from water kind of turns into weed management. Big part of early July through most of August is cultivating and keeping that weed pressure down.
We have some of our own fields that we own and that we have certified organic. We also lease a large amount of our fields. Some of those fields are also certified organic and some of those fields are deemed conventional. But we use all organic farming practices as dictated by Oregon Tilth certification. Hemp in itself is a pretty resistant plant to most pests because it has the oil content. Obviously the oil that we are harvesting is actually its own pest defense system. And we can do a pesticide spray that is organic certified. That's usually in a type of mint oil that is sprayed over the fields. But best, the practice that we can employ is getting our crop into the ground earlier than later. By raising rich cannabinoid plants, we also are bolstering our ability to fight against those pests.
As we move into flower, we're doing a lot of scouting for any male plants that might pop up, trying to eliminate those as quickly as we can to, prevent seed from forming in that flower bud. As we get closer to harvest, we're doing a lot more field scouting. We're looking really closely at those trichomes. The trichomes are kind of your indicator as far as that peak potency goes. We do a lot of internal testing as well.
So this plant here is it's making a pretty good cola. This is a lower cola, so it's not as full as some of the top ones. That's where most of our CBD is going to be, is inside the cola. This one has terpenes that smell like lemons or pine. Those are my favorite to work with because that goes into the product. You can smell it and taste it in the product. We've had times where we were drying hemp in a drying building and you could taste the terpenes in the air. It was really cool to be around and to get to experience that. This is my absolute favorite time of the year. I love harvest, and when we get to actually complete the harvest, that's what all the hard work throughout the rest of the year is all about. It's about getting harvest in, getting product ready for people to use. It'll look kind of like sugar on the outside of the branch, and that material is what we're going for.
When it is time to harvest, we've got a couple different methods that we can work with. If we see a cold snap coming in our forecast, we can prepare and say, this cold snap looks like it's going to kill our crop in the field standing, and we're going to let that crop then dry down and harvest directly out of the field with a combine. The material is best preserved in that kind of harvest scenario. Our backup method for harvesting is to use what's called a swather, and that swather is basically going to cut those plants at the base, and it's going to lay those plants down in the field, and at which time we will have to go back and flip all of those plants so they dry evenly on both sides with the sun and the wind. Once those plants have sufficiently dried down to under 15% moisture content, we can come back through with our combines, which will pick up the plants, and then they'll run it through the combine, and we'll have our dried material as such.
It's very long days. Many days we're out here from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. With little sleep in between. Makes for good camaraderie between the tractor driver and the combine operator. Very fun season. Glad it's over. It's really a balance of as early as we can get it out of the field to avoid any problems from Mother Nature and maintaining that optimum harvest.
We don't just grow one specific variety of hemp. We grow a multitude of varieties, whether it's industrial hemp to flower hemp, and not just CBD, but also CBG. As we harvest and go into our storage, we have a labeling system that is going on all four sides of our boxes, stating the cannabinoid content, the weight of the box, and the date harvested. And that's all locked away then.
14.2. 14.2, heck yeah.
Lazarus Naturals, being a vertically integrated company, has been able to stay on top as a hemp producer and a product producer, largely because we control everything from the initial seeds that are being sown in the ground to the ways that we're harvesting and picking up every fraction of efficiency that we can along the way. The mechanization has been a great factor for us, and we've definitely benefited from that, and ultimately the customer has benefited from that because we've been able to continuously drop down our price point per milligram of CBD that's going in there. That all stems from the farm being more efficient in its production of these cannabinoids.
Farming has just been such an uplifting, change in my life because it does fulfill you, and you feel that sense of purpose watching your plants grow in the field. You're nurturing them, you care a lot about what you're doing. It's hard work, but it really pays off when you do see those plants grow to that 8-10 foot range, and you start looking up at the canopy, and it's pretty amazing what hemp is capable of doing.